Hi everyone, this is Lady Yoly, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. I've had a lot of clients ask me this question, and the question is, how can we manifest something quickly in our lives, something that we desire? Well, there is a trick. There's many ways of going about it, but the first thing is to master your thoughts and also kind of envision that the manifestation has already taken place. So one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about is how to practice, right? You have to practice in order to be able to master something. So what are the attractions? What attracts you? Well, things that make you happy, accomplishments, goals, things of that nature. Those are things that you want to focus on, right? At least you want to practice with things like that in order to see and be able to witness how these things manifest in your life, right? One of the things you want to do is to kind of teach your mind to think that the manifestation has already happened, right? And we're going to use some examples. You want to clear yourself of any negativity. If it's one of those days that you've woken up and you're not feeling good, and you know what days I'm talking about. Sometimes you wake up and you're full of energy and you're ready to take the world. Those are good days, right? But sometimes, you know what? You wake up, you're not feeling it. It's one of those days where you want to call out. It's one of those days where you just want to lie in bed. That's not a good day. Basically, when that happens, your body is letting you know that you need to either rest or, wind down a little bit. So that's an indicator that you're not full of pep and you're not full of energy. So you're not to practice on those days, okay? So always remember, you want to ease your mind. You want to make sure that you are at ease and at peace, right? You have to also be very powerful with your intentions, right? You want to envision that what's coming what you're wanting and what you want to come your way is not only going to give you happiness, but it's going to fulfill you in many other ways. Sometimes when it benefits others around you, the manifestation happens a lot sooner, because remember, it's a ripple effect. It's not just pleasing you or benefiting you, but others around you. Now, one thing I wanted to also kind of put in here in the mix. When was the last time that you walked outside and walked out barefoot? I know you might think I'm changing the subject here, but this is very important. A good way of energizing is being able to walk barefoot. I know it sounds crazy, but when was the last time you did it? If you're near a beach, have you walked in the beach? Have you let the sand touch the soles of your feet? Maybe the grass? This is very important. Everything has energy, and this is confirmed. You want to energize in the most natural way possible, because this is also a component to this simple practice. Now, going back to what we were talking about, you want to be able to take a few breaths, right before you start. What are you trying to achieve? Think about it. Think of what will happen after you achieve that. One of the ways I like to meditate is, obviously, first thing you want to do is have some breathing techniques, right? Breathing therapy right before you start. Breathing within your nose, breathing in, out. And you should do that about 3 to 4 times, okay? Preferably when you get up in the morning. The next thing you want to do is describe the details of what you want. Now, you can say this out loud or you can say it in your mind, but you want to make sure that you're not, that you're very detailed in what you want, right to the T. Describe it as best as possible. The other thing you want to do is also envision it, right? Make sure. Answer the following questions: what, when, why, and how. These are very important questions, because that way you're going to tackle everything that you may have in your mind subconsciously as worry or concern, right? How is it going to happen? Why? When? What? And you're going to answer it as to the best of your knowledge and whatever's most beneficial to you. What specifically is it that you want, right? So that's another thing I wanted to kind of point out. Sometimes we're not really comfortable with what we're doing, maybe like talking it out loud or thinking about it in our minds, but you have to be very detailed. This is one of the key components. Be detailed, right to the T. Let's say it has to do with a specific color or a specific number or a specific place. Be very specific. If you have to draw it out, if you have to specify it, do so, okay? I always like to say, talk to yourself as if you are a toddler, because that way nothing will fall through the cracks. It's a good one. You also want to make sure that you look at what benefits others as well. So let's say that you want a specific goal that's going to benefit you primarily, but how is it going to benefit others around you? As you think about that, and as you see where there might be possibilities where it can benefit others, also make those comments and also think about those ways that others around you will benefit. Details. I can't stress that enough. Details, details, details. It's helpful. Now, let's talk about visualize and believe. A lot of people want to do these practices and they don't believe in themselves. In fact, they start off thinking this is not going to work. If you do that, then don't be upset if it doesn't happen. You have to visualize it and you have to believe. That's also a key component. Believe that you can have what you want, okay? As long as you believe, trust me, it will work. And you also have to feel that you deserve it, right? So here's another thing, and you might think I'm getting off track here, but this is also very important. Have you ever heard that doing well will get you where you need to be, and not only doing well will help you, but it will come back in bigger quantities? If you're someone who's constantly helping or looking for ways to, help your neighbor or things like that, this is going to come naturally and this is going to come easily. If you're one not to be this way, not because you're, antisocial or anything like that, but because you're not necessarily comfortable with engaging in that way, you may need to start practicing on that as well, because you have to understand that you have to open yourself up in order for those manifestations to come. Being locked up or not being communicative towards other people is not going to get you there. So it's very important that you be someone who has also contributed. You can only get and receive if you contribute, and that's the law. Okay, so I hope I didn't confuse you there, but note that in order for you to be able to do this and in order for this to work for you, you have to feel like you deserve it. And if something inside of you does not let you see it that way, then you need to address that first. Okay, going back to our subject. So once again, believe it and also believe that you deserve it. Now, this is important. At that point, you're going to imagine that you've already had it, that you already have it in your hands. A good example that I always like to give for those of you who are students, sometimes there's a test that you feel that as much as you study, you may not, you feel that you may not be able to pass, right? Well, you're going to envision yourself having a piece of paper. And I know that nowadays having a red A+ is not necessarily what you'll receive as a passing grade. Most of the time it's virtual or it's based on a score. But remember, we are also envisioning something that gives us envisioning a big A+, you know what that means. That means a passing score. You can envision that because when you were a child, you would probably receive good positive feedback from your teachers by receiving a document that would have a big A+ on it. So I always tell my students, envision yourself receiving a piece of paper that has this big red, bright A+. And just saying that, the person just feels very different. Automatically you believe and automatically you envision that piece of paper with the red A+. So what you want to do is picture yourself, envision it in front of you. Close your eyes if you have to, and envision that passing score, that passing grade. Picture it even furthermore, having somebody giving it to you in your hand and at the same time congratulating you for passing the grade. Envision what they're dressed up as, what's the colors that they're wearing, whether they have jewelry. Envision who that person's going to be. Is it going to be the teacher? Is it going to be the person who helps the teacher? Is it going to be someone else in the school? Envision it all, right to the T. It's very important that you do so that you can have confidence in that manifestation. And also, it's going to come to you in that way. You're allowing it to manifest and unfold. Get excited about it. You know, one of the things I always tell my clients is that you want to kind of prepare for a celebration. And envision yourself also celebrating and what you're going to do, whether it be having a gathering, whether it be buying yourself something nice, whether it's having lunch with your friends, something like that. Envision it and picture it. That's also good. Having a celebration for not just reaching the goal, but also celebrating thereafter. So you're going that extra mile. It's not just about envisioning the goal, but you have the goal in your hand and now you're celebrating it. One of the things you want to do too, and I know this is going to sound crazy, visualize using your 5 senses. Sight, hearing, smell, touch, taste, if possible. The victory. I mean, you have to do that. It's going to be so rewarding. So yes, use your 5 senses. In my case, your 6th sense too. Once you do that, you'll feel, you'll feel so real. It will literally feel as if you've met your goal. Okay? Positive feelings. This is very important. Once you've done all of this, you're going to feel better. You're going to think, hey, did I really just do this? Yes. And you're going to have a whole different vibe. You're going to feel positive. You're going to feel ambitious. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I've literally transformed my thoughts, my concerns, my worries. They're going to be out the door. Okay? You want to stay on that wave until you get that manifestation. Now, you know, sometimes there's things that happen that we have no control over, but try to ride the wave. I can't stress that enough. Try to ride the wave. Seems easy, right? Now, a lot of what you're doing is really just letting your subconscious know that you are ready for that manifestation. And by doing so, you're absorbing all this positive energy, and only good can come from that. So that positive outcome is going to come your way. Plus, you'll also feel that you're going to have this rush to want to do certain things to kind of ensure that that manifestation happens. So I tell you what, I encourage you to go out there and to do this simple practice and to actually reach out to me and let me know how it went. Let me know if you reached your outcome, if you reached your goal, and if that manifestation really came to play. I want to wish you the best. And once again, I'm glad I'm able to do these little mini videos to shed some insights and give you feedback as to your questions. So thank you so much for hearing me out. If you have any questions, by all means, you can always reach out to me. My website is www.ladyyoly.com. And you can also reach me on every social media platform, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Take care and brightest blessings.